behind the wing here because it's pretty windy. So up here at the saddle, I'll give you a quick look over there. Back up here at the saddle, huge triangle set today, 200 plus kilometre triangle to be set, which will be double my personal record easily. So it's a big task ahead, but we'll see how it goes. We're going to head down the Hogdons again from here. So this morning we've got a bit of a northwest. It's probably at the moment gusting up to 30 kilometres, 35 kilometres. It is forecast to drop off a little bit, so I'm just going to wait for it to drop off a wee bit and then look at launching. John's already launched. He's most of the way down to Mount Ida now, which is where the first turn point is, and then we're going to come racing back up the Hogdons, which should be pretty soarable. Bit of a headwind component on the way up, and then we'll go up to the Benmores.
We're going to go shortly because the wind has dropped off.
Maybe it's only doing like 30 kilometres now.
What?
About 30 kilometres. Yep, so it's dropped off a bit. Big task. It's good to set big goals, so I guess we'll see you in the air. Yeah, I've got that. And relax. Off the ground now and flying. So it's now 1:15 instead of being up at 11:30, 12 o'clock like a couple of the others. I sat around waiting for the wind to drop and it didn't really drop. So now I'm up here, gale dangling. Alright, so I've got to climb out in front of the hill up to just shy of about 7,000 feet. Higher than it could get, just gale dangling on the ridge. So push out, climb up a bit, drift back, push out forwards, upwind, climb up a bit. Now I'm just sniffing around upwind again for a climb as I fly into the sea. I just battled my way down the Tara Hills and had to fly pretty fast, pushing into a headwind, so going all I've got just to get onto the sort of windward side of this spine here. And it's nice, as soon as I flew onto the front of it, it just started going up, which was beautiful, just what I needed. I'll hang around here now. I'm sort of soaring, doing a bit of thermals and wait for a cycle to come through and hopefully take it to the clouds and over towards, well, Omarama eventually, but via Cuthbert, I think. It's 10k ground speed, 6k ground speed, 40 k's of wind on the instrument. Now I'm almost just parked pretty much, going up. And it's smooth. I like it when it's like this. It's effortless. It is nice to be able to just park into wind and let the glider do its thing. After getting pretty low, down to 3,000 feet, which is below the ridge, and what's worse, it's below the lowest part of the ridge as well. I stuck around, persevered, pushed into wind, found the climb, drifted back. Found it again and back up 6,300 now, which is going to give me enough height to leave the end of the Tara Hills and go towards Cuthbert. Out this way. Hey! Low down, definitely got a bit more northwest in it, and the shadows on the clouds are showing there's a hint of southerly in it. So I could definitely feel that climbing up through. We got to a bit of a layer where it got rough and the drift changed direction, and now we're up in another layer, much colder up here. But up to about 5,000 feet, oh, it was smooth as silk. Really smooth climb. And it's the sort of time when you think you're going to land and you say to yourself, I wish there was a really nice smooth 6-up that just came along and took me back up into the air. Well, that's pretty much what happened. So I'll keep on wishing my way along the route. I'll go over to Cuthbert, there's some clouds en route, and should be able to top up on the way if I need to, or jump straight over to Cuthbert. But I've sacked the 200 and odd kilometre task off. Now I've sacked that off. Not for lack of interest, but I didn't take off till late. I didn't really want to battle back into a partial headwind coming back from Mount Ida. So I've just gone on the takeoff, and I'll see if I can get over onto the Ben Moors and go from there, just for a leisurely flight, a leisurely afternoon. So first contact with Cuthbert here. It's into a cloud, little cloud above me, it's into a climb. A sailplane underneath me. See if he catches me up. Hopefully get to the cloud before the sailplane gets to me. Hey! Go Mario, sing! 5,000 feet. I left the end of the Tara Hills at 6,500, so yeah, 1,500, 1,600 feet to cross over. Not a bad glide. Crosswind. Should probably stop speaking and listen to my Vario and try and call this thermal. That's the front. Core's back this way. There it is. In a second, put in the turn. That's an edge of the thermal. Back this way. Not pissing about with the GoPro and thermal. Well, the little cloud disappeared. Well, it didn't, it moved actually. The one we're going up to disappeared, this new one's just turned up, and the sailplane's catching up with me. Hey! Hey! Maybe not just yet. Maybe it was me that just lost the core. Too busy talking to you. $6,900 and he's not caught me yet. Next stop's going to be over towards Busker. I'll fly over the top of Omarama again. Should be flying crosswind at this altitude. Maybe as I get a little bit lower I'm going to get a headwind component come into it. But just gone through 7,000 feet. Not too far away from cloud base. Climb is slowing down, it's a little bit more broken. Sailplane's creeping up to me still. Alright, that's enough of that now. So I'm drifting downwind. I'm gonna have to start pushing upwind if I keep waiting around any longer. But I try to wait for the sailplane. it just wasn't quick enough. Just turns out the sailplane wasn't quick enough for the old RX 3.5. He couldn't catch me. So leaving it at 7,000 feet to go on glider, cross over Omarama towards the Busket now. So I got myself a climb just crossing Omarama just east of the airstrip, and got to be careful, it's going up nicely, but further down this valley I go, the stronger the valley breeze is going to get. I don't want to get stuck trying to push back out, so I think I'm going to leave the climb early and head back crosswind towards the Busket, just over here. Actually, if I go to the Busket, I need to go slightly upwind. But I should be able to go straight up to the Ben Moors now. I've topped up to 6,500 feet. Went down to maybe about 5 as I was crossing. I didn't see that about 5.2. That's where we're heading.
Goddamn GoPro batteries just don't last once they've got cold. But anyway, I head over here onto the Busket, and you see I get a climb straight away. It's a bit broken, scratch around a little bit more, but I can actually see at this point that the wind is northerly. It's coming through this saddle just in front, so I decide I'm going to dive over to the left, out into the west, to try and get onto the windward side and the sunny side of the Busket, but I don't quite make it over, and I have to scratch around here, and luckily I get this ripper here. So I'm down at like 600 feet off the ground, and then I get this climb. Here you can see it from another angle as I fly across. Don't quite make it over this ridge, have to scratch around, and I get this thermal, and it is hectic. So I'm in this thermal and it's going up at 5 meters a second from 600 feet off the ground, and not only is that enough to cope with, but there's about 50 seagulls in this thermal with me, all flying different directions, flying at me, over me, under me, around me. It was full on.
Okay, low battery, past the Busket, low save, best low save of my life, one of the strongest thermals I've ever had. Interested to see the track log later. Okay, reserve battery.
So I get this climb here, and it's the smoothest, widest climb of the day. It took me nice and high, which pretty much made Twizel possible just on glide. And yeah, just work my way along here. I do hit a load of sink actually just before I get to Twizel, just about here.
It's got drilled hard on the way to Twizel. So that's Twizel, made it here. Definitely just dropped down from the westerly up high into
So as expected, the GoPro battery died again. It's starting to warm up a bit, so I'm getting a little bit of power out of it, but I got a bit of a save off Twizel, and then just made my way over to the Pukaki airstrip, which I thought would be a really nice place to go and land. So there's Mount Cook. I didn't make it all the way up to Mount Cook, but still nonetheless an absolutely epic flight. And then eventually just landed here at Pukaki Airport next to this big red biplane, which was pretty cool and awesome day out.